That again.
Good. There we go. Welcome everybody, and welcome to all the crowd, and you too, Pat. How are you doing?
The crowd.
Thanks.
I guess everybody's out trying to get something planted. It's like hasn't been good. Hasn't been good.
For sure.
And it was nice to get back to an area that is younger. I was in Quebec City for four days, and everything's 400 years old there. It's all been fixed up though.
Really?
Yeah. And my French got really bad. I très bien, and
Say bon.
yeah, whatever.
No tornado.
They were pretty good to me. They didn't pick on me too bad.
No tornado in it.
No tornado.
Close.
Okay. Minutes. Previous. Moved by Councilor Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Turton, that the previous minutes of the May 21st, 2019 council meeting and May 7th, 2019 closed session meeting are approved. All in favor? Ready? Okay.
Other items?
Other items. I have anybody else? That word? That's right here.
6, sir.
6. Dave, anybody else? Okay. All right.
So now we're gonna go into the
Oh, that's right. So we're going to the Committee of Adjustments. So I need a mover and a seconder to go into the Committee of Adjustments. Ron and Judy. Ron moved. Judy second. All in favor? This is to deal with. Have you got it there?
So you're gonna do the.
Oh, we have to do it again.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'll act as the chair. Oh, this is the public meeting. Hang on. Where are we? Number 9. Okay, here we go. I'll call the meeting to order, stating any decision reached by this committee today cannot be used to set a precedent. Each application considered by the committee is dealt with on its own merits, and no two applications are exactly the same. This is for MV 2019-04-11 James Street West, Clifford, Vanderburg. Okay. The meeting is to further consider the minor variance application file, which I just stated after the matter was deferred in May 21st committee meeting. Secretary Treasurer advised notice of further procedure was given to Paul Lucer, who attended the May 24th meeting and signed the attendance record book. Chair will call on the building assessor to provide a report.
Okay.
That'd be you, Terry.
So last Tuesday, Jessica Rahim from Wellington County and I met out with Trevor and his father on site just to kind of review the site conditions. When we were out there, the size of the structure, which we were fine at the public meeting, we remained being okay with the increase in square footage. We looked at the reduction to the setback. So the application was for an 8-foot front yard setback. And staff, we weren't comfortable with that for streetscape and sightline perspectives, as well as the neighbor had concerns about it as well. So in looking at the site, I did mention at the meeting it is possible to construct a sewer lateral, which was shown on the one plan, through the building. In discussion with them, it turns out that sanitary sewer line is extremely shallow, like to the neighborhood of like 1 foot below grade.
Ooh.
So my concern was if we drop the building, put the building on top of it, if the building's not heated, so there won't be any snow cover on the sewer, I was worried about it freezing. So because of that, we did discuss an increase in the reduction to basically front yard setback of 16 feet versus the 19.8 that's required. So a little bit of a grace. It kept it off the road. Plus, it's going to protect his sewer lateral. We also discussed the height of the structure. So he was going for a 17'6" mid-height increase from 14.8. I crunched some numbers, and it is possible for him to store his recreational vehicle in the shed and also off to the side. That was one of the concerns that he had. He was anticipating he would have to go right down the middle. In the numbers I crunched, it could be, I believe the edge was about 2 feet from the sidewall of the building. So he's got a 32-foot wide shed. He's just losing storage of his trailer within 4 feet in total. So the other discussion we had on site was the increase, to allow him to increase the height of the building to, I think it was 13.5 feet, would allow him to use a conventional truss opposed to a scissor or cathedral style truss. But just from the streetscape and the concerns the neighbors had, I would prefer to stick with the height as required at the 14.8. So Trevor was fine with that. He had other commitments today, so he couldn't make it. He's well aware of what my report was and the discussions being brought forward. So our recommendation is to approve a 16-foot front yard setback, no increase in height, and then approve the 1,280 square foot as requested.
Like someone to move second either the approval or the denial.
Right. Yeah, so you have two in front of you, or they have them in front of them, right? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question first?
Yes, sure.
Just had a question about the neighbor. Is he satisfied with this new plan?
So he did send in an email to Michelle that it wasn't extremely clear what his position was, but in talking with him, he was okay with the proposal as amended.
Okay.
So he was okay with that. He did raise grading concerns, which is one of the conditions that we do have.
That's covered.
On the approval. So.
And just I seem to recall too, there was some concern about some trees.
Yeah.
What's the concern? How is that looking?
So when we did review that on site, so 2 of the trees actually projected into Trevor's yard. Both were at ironically, the 2 corners of his shed. By shifting it over 8 feet, that's going to save one of the trees. He will lose another. The setback from the trees with the neighbor are roughly on the property line, and he's actually proposing a 6-foot setback from those trees.
Okay.
So it's probably going to nip a little bit of the root structure off, but the building is still outside the drip line, so it shouldn't. It should be okay with those trees.
And that was why I was hoping that there would be some relief on the trees, right? Yeah. Okay, good. Any other questions? So we need to move it. Judy would move it. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Turton for approve.
Yes. Approve, yeah.
Yep. Deputy Mayor Turton. Everybody for approve. All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Thank you. Very good.
Okay, so
We have to have everybody sign this. Yep. I have to sign there, right?
Oh, me too.
Sign there. Nice. Okay. And you know what? That's great. I mean, we had deferred that. It ended up being talked through, and everybody seems to be happy, which is nice to have every now and again. So
Especially
good
the
work
neighbors.
on that. Yeah, well, the neighbors and the trees and the overall thing. So. That's why we have these meetings. That's why it works sometimes. Right.
And then here's the state.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thanks to staff for working on that.
Yeah,
That's
thank
good.
the staff for working through that, Terry, and getting the people all together. I will state that anyone wishing to receive a copy of the notice of decision to please sign the request of notice of decision prior to leaving the council chambers. Chair officially adjourns the public meeting. Okay. Can I have a mover and a seconder for that the Committee of Adjustment feeds into the Town of Minto Community Poll? Jean and Jeff. All in favor? Okay, moving along here. Moving along.
Okay.
No delegations. Public question period. No, I don't see. Correspondence requiring direction of council. You want to talk to the Maitland Valley?
Not at all, other than appointment to the Joint Management Committee of the source water.
Good. Okay.
That's no.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good. Excellent. Seniors of Excellence. Anything? Have somebody move those? Jean? David? All in favor? Great. Where are we now? Oh, PrAC Committee report. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge. All right, well, we met a week ago Monday. We had planned to review the bus parking agreement, but in conversation with Facilities Manager Carr, cooks are no longer asking to use the arena lot, so that agreement can be scrapped and it won't be coming back. Blessings to You in Palmerston donated $4,000 to help us buy some storage equipment and supplies for our expansion to Minto Clifford Public School this fall. We had the photo op there on Saturday. It was nice. They did that in Palmerston as well, and it's great to help us. Those storage units aren't cheap, but they're very durable, and it's been so nice to have that one in Palmerston. So we're going to buy something similar for Minto Clifford, and we're looking forward to getting rolling at both sites this fall. June is packed with events, one of them being Party in the Park. Details are listed in the minutes there, and proceeds again to Lions Park and Norgan Theatre. And it's super busy with town-run programs. A lot of the ones that we directly run start up or already are running from springtime. And one of the events we're hosting this weekend is the Splash Bash in Palmerston. So the Lions are putting that on. The Palmerston pool is getting inspected on Thursday, so if all goes well, the pool will be open for a free swim from 12 till 4. And then the splash pad, it typically runs 8 till 8, so we're hoping for a good turnout there. It's a week earlier than normal, but this is fine because we've got Swim to Survive starting on Monday with Palmerston Public students. So there's a lot of other things happening on Saturday. It's a busy day.
Hope the heater's working.
Now, what is the temperature of the pool?
I do know the temperature will be. It'll be warm. We've had.
They'll stay in the water.
Yeah. We've actually had, with the Harrison renovation last year, we've got 2 new heaters there, and the one in Palmerston was upgraded last year, so we should be hovering around 80 for the weekend.
Oh, that's nice,
Yeah.
eh?
That's perfect.
I should mention we hosted a large camping group. About 55 units in all descended on Harrison over the May long weekend. It's the first major camping event that we've hosted at the fairgrounds in a few years. And it was nice. I didn't go far over the long weekend. I saw a lot of new faces downtown supporting the businesses and such. They were a tremendous group to work with, and they actually sent a thank you note just for the work that Dwayne Bowl and the park staff did over the weekend.
They also give a donation to the Harrison Food Bank.
Yeah, that is correct. They had a small church service in the auditorium on Sunday, and they made a donation to the food bank. And I think they also went over to the United Church and had a meal catered there to them as well. So it's great that they not only just came to the rink, but have left a mark. Moving on, Facilities Manager Carr and Mayor Bridge they've been invited to meet with the Kinsmen. I believe that's tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That's just to discuss a water feature and delve into how and when to proceed. And that's based on some research Al's compiled, Al Carr, just with regard to what type of system, where to place it, whatnot, and we'll see where that takes us. We also have a delegation coming to our June PRAC meeting later this month to review our naming rights policy for facilities and how to best recognize groups and individual contributions over the years in Harrison specifically. Once that takes place, and should PRAC make a recommendation, it will come before you for consideration in July. So we'll go through our meeting in June, and you may see something as early as July. And on to the next page. It's exciting when there is interest in serving as a member of PRAC. And we currently do not have a township rep. That spot was vacated due to a resignation. And we actually had 3 individuals that inquired. And so PRAC recommends Trevor Smith. He resides in the former township near Drew. He's involved and has kids involved in various sports in Minto. And we're confident he'll make a welcome addition to the group and fill that void. Not sure if there's any questions.
Actually, sorry, Ron, I should have turned this over to you. I didn't have it written on my thing. So
That's
I'll have to
fine.
get them to, they have put little yellow things there to remind me. But,
My job's just to introduce Matt anyway.
all
so-
right, yeah. Well, no one take all the tough questions, I thought. Anyways.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
So you want a motion on that then, Ron?
Sure. Could we have a motion to receive the minutes and adopt them from our recreation? Lee and George. All in favor?
I
Yes.
believe we did, yes. It was quick. It's very quick on that. All right. Culture Roundtable. Who does this one? I guess I do this one. I do this one. Okay.
Jean, Jeff.
I'll be really brief. There's really not much out of this meeting to speak to. We really just worked through our action plan. As you can see from the action plan, there is a lot of things going on with the Cultural Roundtable, and it's a really great group. We have a lot of new members and a lot of people stepping up and taking on leadership roles in a lot of the activities. So other than that, that was the focus of our meeting. I really don't have anything extra to add.
I just make a comment. Unfortunately I missed that one, but I was told it was a really neat, and we have a lot of new people, which is great. I'm sure the chair appreciates that. Yeah, so it's great to see the enthusiasm that committee continues to bring.
Yep. It's all good.
Do you want to move that? Ron and Jean, all in favor? Okay, staff reports. Chief Building Official. Sidewalk encroachment.
So
I don't like the
this
sound of
council
that.
recalled
Yeah,
that the decision on the William Street patio in Palmerston was deferred. Since that meeting, staff met and figured a policy might be a better option to bring forward again than a specific application for a sidewalk patio. We know we're going to get a few of these. And I think once we get a couple up and running, that it may, it may kind of lead to additional ones. So what I have the report in front of you as well as the proposed policy. The proposed policy follows exactly what the encroachment agreement I had drafted up for the previous meeting, what was all encompassed in it, with the exception that I did clarify that the business would have to be operating prior to the actual construction and approval, like through staff, of the patio itself. So in the policy, it's got the basic things like insurance, naming us, as insured through them. The fees were the same as what was in the encroachment agreement, $150 per year plus $1,000 deposit. Limitations are a little more general for in the policy than it was in the encroachment agreement, just because of different types of businesses. Whether it's like an alcohol served patio versus like a cafe, the hours operation will differ slightly. And again, it is only for existing businesses. So I did speak to the individual who applied for the one I brought forward and said this is kind of what we're proposing, including the insurance requirements he didn't have concerns with, and he didn't actually have concerns with the operating business either. So he's going to get things up and running, and then he's going to come speak to us. We're working out the details with Wellington County's road department for ones that are within the Wellington County road allowance, so the main street proposal. It seems like they need confirmation from us that we'll take on the responsibility for them. But we're just finalizing those details. But it looks like they're going to be kind of hands off on the whole thing. The approval body for the encroachment agreement would be our roads manager. Being it's his sidewalk, it's his parking spaces, it's best if he was the one to sign off on it if he's happy. So I don't know if council has any questions.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge. So will there be any, so the sidewalk that sticks out past the wooden sidewalk that sticks out past the real sidewalk, will there be high vis or anything on that? Like, will it be marked?
There's nothing in the policy that would require it. I didn't notice any issues with the visibility of the one that was up last year. It's a parking spot too, so you're not going to be heading in there hopefully at high speeds.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
No, I think it's. I talked to you earlier about the downtown revite committees being involved and talking with Belinda, and and they're all on board with this and are really gung ho to see it go ahead. So I think that's important as well.
I totally agree. I think it's a great opportunity for those businesses as well as for spin-offs for other businesses in the local area.
Certainly, I lived it in Quebec City. I mean,
Yeah.
every place
Everyone.
had a patio, and they have real narrow streets, and they managed to work with it. And
Taking pictures.
yeah, oh, I got some pictures.
Ottawa's the same. Eh?
Yeah, and we're seeing it all over the place, and
Stratford now.
it's really what we need to do. I have no problem with it. I'm glad you mentioned the insurance. The $5 million, of course, I haven't been kept up to date on how insurance is. One time, $2 million was hard to get.
Yep.
So $5 million, that doesn't seem to be a problem.
It's not an issue getting that.
And I think the county will probably want to be named as well as us in it because it'll be.
And those are the details that we're still working on. Yep.
Yeah. No, that sounds good.
So my recommendation is receive our report and then authorize staff to enter into the encroachment agreements that follow the attached policy.
Great. Mark, moving it. Jeff, seconding. All in favor? Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Looking forward to that. Let's sit out there, relax. What do we got now? Building inspector. Oh, hi, Michelle. You're on with this one. Pretty reasonable, straightforward, but go ahead.
It is, although it is a planning application, is mostly technical in nature, and council is very familiar with 24 George Street North, and basically this is going to allow them to put all 23 lots in place to be sold individually on their own. And so respectfully, council, we request that you approve or receive the report by myself and approve and pass a bylaw in open council.
Great. Any questions? Just a housekeeping thing, really. Yes. Okay. I'll move by Deputy Mayor Curtin, second by Jean. All in favor?
Thank you.
Good. Thank you. I turn it over to somebody else now. I have to look at my notes. Yes, right here. I turn it over to Judy.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge. I'm going to call on Mark Robertson, our wastewater foreman, and he's going to talk to us about the I&I repair program that we have going here. And maybe you can tell us more about those pictures there.
I think
what those actually are.
Okay.
Through you, Chair, maybe we can have a tour down there and just walk around in it, right?
What, sewer?
Yeah.
Right now.
Anybody up for that?
I'll pass on that one.
We'll watch you.
Looking pretty inviting. Sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
Interesting.
We might
Okay.
have an hour after this.
Messed up here.
Thanks, Councillor Dirksen. Yep, so we got the sanitary inflow and infiltration repair program. 2019 capital budget has $100,000 for that program for the town of Hairston. We found all the deficiencies through last year's closed circuit CCTV inspection program. As you guys know, council has been involved in this program dating back to 2012. The only differences between our typical program and the program this year is we've added two different types of repairs, the mainline and lateral repair work instead of just in the manhole structure itself. So yeah, that's what these pictures are. The first set of pictures, that's the typical maintenance hole repairs where the precast sections hook together, or where a lateral service is entering into the structure. If we go to the next set, these are the top three images. There is the mainline sewer. That's just the sewer main that runs down the center of the street. For the most part, Hairston actually got a really good report on the structural for the sewer mains, but there is some leaking at where the joints, where the pipes actually hook together, and obviously a couple structural deficiencies. And then the last one is just the lateral connection. That's where each house service comes from the house to the street, where that connection is to the main. It just creates a spot for leakage.
Right.
So those are the three areas that we're going to be looking at and repairing. We sent the work out with the help of Triton, sent it out for bid. We actually only got one bid on the work, and it was from Capital Sewer Services. for $95,725. But we believe that we're getting good value for the work, as we estimated the work to be at around $100,000. So pretty well on the mark there. Capital Sewer Services, in their proposal, they're hoping to use chemical grout as the main source of repair, and that's what we've been using in previous contracts, and we're pretty comfortable with that as a repair method.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions?
Great, thanks. Any questions for Mark? Yes.
Yeah, I do. Thank you, Chair. A couple questions. Capital, did they do the stuff last year or the year before? Have we used them before?
They're a sister company to DM Robichaud.
And some of the work that we've done in the past, we've done quite a bit. We've spent quite a few dollars. How often do we inspect the work? Like, do we open up the man covers and check them out, Mark?
Yeah. I can't speak to anything before 2015, but since then we've been inspecting biannually, every other year, each town. And now that we have the system set up for doing the manual inspections, we're actually throwing around the idea of doing it annually, just so it's not so cumbersome now that we got the system in place.
And it's standing up well.
Yeah, I think Palmerston's a good example of
Good.
that.
And
Thank you.
is that because we have that little piece of equipment that help with the lifting off, and like we bought that lift thing on the truck a couple years back. Does that help, or you don't need it?
That's helpful in other areas. Not
Okay,
so much
but
with
not
the
so much in this
manuals,
one.
But yeah.
Anyone else? Okay, I'll read the recommendation. The council receives the wastewater foreman's May 31st, 2019 report on the sanitary inflow and infiltration repair program and accepts the quotation provided by Capital Sewer Services for $95,725 plus HST. So someone move that. Councilor McKenzie and Deputy Mayor Turton. Okay, all in favor? That carries.
So that monster thing just is more.
I'll turn the chair back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I'll turn it over to Deputy Mayor Turton for the treasurer's.
Thank you.
report.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge.
Where's the treasurer?
Our treasurer is sitting right beside you. Well,
There he is.
can we go over the accounts?
Yes,
Please.
thank you, Deputy Mayor. There we are. So we've got a few highlights. Admin, the largest by far is our debenture payments for the month at $242,000. We have been, now that we have what passes for spring weather, we've been busy on the flood restoration work that we've been doing. So we had about $80,000 in logging and tree removal and mitigation, and $5,200 in excavating, as our citizens are well aware. We've also been forward thinking, and we bought $13,000 of Christmas decorations, and it was interesting that we used our bang the table engaged Minto to get some community input on that, so that was good. And we got some sweeping done for $15,000. And again, the recreation people have been busy implementing the capital expenditures, and we've got some more tables for about $17,000 and another rooftop heating unit for $4,600. So starting off.
Questions? Councillor Dirksen.
Thank you. Just had a question. You mentioned about the debentures.
Yes.
So those is that tile drain debentures?
No.
Oh.
Those are our town debentures. So our long-term debt.
Oh, okay.
And it, again, when we borrow, it ends up in the capital budget, but when we pay back, it's in the operating.
Right.
That's why
Okay.
it comes here.
Okay. I just never heard it expressed that way before,
yeah.
and I wasn't.
Instead of loans, debentures.
Loans,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great. Okay. I just.
Mayor Bridge.
Thank you.
I want to just comment on one of the things that our treasurer said, and he should know this because he understands it. They're not Christmas lights; they're seasonal lights.
They're, well,
Right?
Winter
So
lights.
which was great, was the fact that people wanted the lights to be on a little longer than just at Christmas, so we made them more seasonal, and we're hoping to have those lights on a little bit longer, right, Belinda?
Seasonal Christmas
till
lights.
March. So we'll have those nice lights on till March. So
As long as there's snow, any lights look fantastic.
exactly.
What
And
about
actually, in our
Summer lights.
on that, in our discussion with the downtown, they're saying we should have lights on little trees year round. And I seen it big time in Quebec. I got some pictures of stuff. Well, you probably do too, or you probably got more than I do. But some of the decorations, some of the neat things, and I brought some good stuff back from the conferences. Some of the companies that are out there with some really amazing product that wraps the poles and all this other stuff. So I have a booklet on that. And sorry.
no problem. What about salt? Are we stockpiling? No.
I think
Sorry, Gord.
we may have bought our last salt for the
Good.
winter.
We paid for it.
Never say never.
Other questions? Councilor McKenzie?
Gord, you mentioned flood plan, the work that's going on there.
Yes.
Had some inquiries. What will we get a report sometime? How that's moving along, and that's
Yeah.
for you to.
Certainly, and just as a refresher, because we're into kind of 2 years, so a lot of this work is done under the Municipal Disaster Recovery Assistance Program. So this is work that's done for restoration as opposed to mitigation. So basically, we have a culvert to fix and some shoreline repairs and things like that too. And you're going to see a few more bills because we have a time limit of August of this year to complete that work. And that's the one where we had to hit a 3% of total tax levy before it triggered, and it was in connection with being designated a disaster area and all that. So this is all from the almost 2 years ago, the June 23rd, 17 flood.
So does Maitland Valley, they monitor some of what's going on back there?
Yes.
Probably do, but we don't hear how it's moving along, that project.
Well, I want to speak to.
Yeah, go ahead, Mayor
So
Branch.
one of the things, two things at FCM was a lot of discussion, obviously, around flood mitigation because, we're Harrison, so I'm sure we got our little bit of press in that. But when Ottawa gets a problem and Gatineau and all the other ones, there's a lot of focus now on flood control mitigation and where we're going, and not just cleaning up afterwards, but trying to do like we're trying to do, trying to create less flooding in the future. And that's where I think they've put some good money into some programs, large money. But you're right, Mark. We need to, and I know Steve at Maitland Valley, and maybe Dave knows better than me on this, but he's seen remark improvement already. But he's just getting some more events to see how it's going. But just what we've done already has moved the water through a lot quicker. And then we still have to work on on what do I call the plug on
The outlet.
the outlet going into from North Ward Drain. So if it comes back up and dig it there a little bit. Now that that's all, the trees have been removed enough, we can get big equipment in there to finish that off. So that's all in the progress. So I would hope maybe the staff, and if the council's all right with this, maybe come back by July, maybe we'll have a bit of an idea. Just a quick little update.
I would say if we could August or September, because
Okay.
the deadline is August to
Right.
get the work done.
Okay.
So I'm thinking September will give you an update. As the work's done, we'll have all the bills submitted to the disaster relief program, and then Mike and what we'll do is invite Steve Jackson from Maitland Valley to come to the meeting, and the two of them will give you an update on what's happened and what's going on and how that's working.
And he's monitoring all that now, Mark. So every time there's an event, we have a big rainstorm or whatever, he's watching those gauges and watching how it's going through it. And he can give us a nice report, a bit of like where we're at. Let's just hope we don't have a big one.
Yeah, really.
We just want little ones to see how it goes. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, we don't want any of them. We'll just keep my
On any.
side.
Yeah.
Let it dry.
Yeah. But definitely it.
Other questions?
That's it.
Okay. The recommendation is the Council of the Town of Minto receives the Treasurer's report dated May 30th regarding approval of accounts, approves the Town of Minto accounts by department for April and May 2019. Mover, Mr. Elliott. Councillor Dirksen, all in favor of that motion? Against, that's carried. I'll pass the chair back to our mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, so now we have the
boys. Todd and Mike.
And Mike coming up. Yeah, Judy gets that, I think, again. Do you, Judy? I don't have it past you, but go for it.
Sure.
We're getting there. We're getting this figured out.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
Thanks. Yeah, so have Mike Bissett here today. Just he's our successful candidate for the DWQMS representative role. So Mike's been with us now for getting close to 6 years.
Wow, that's 6 years, Mike.
Yeah. A solid background, both the water and the wastewater. So and he's taken quite a bit of initiative already, getting some extra training and jumped right into the role. So we're looking forward to moving forward with Mike, and just wanted to introduce him to everybody. And then also as part of this report and as part of the QMS program, we have to recognize Mike as the QMS rep and then attach bylaw, so that's going to be part of this as well.
Okay. Congratulations.
Good.
Are there any questions?
Comment, I can't believe it. Herbie still gets mad at me because you left him. And it's been 6 years?
Yep.
Wow.
They're still operating, so.
That's great. Okay, so I'll read the recommendation. It's just about the bylaw. The council receives the acting CAO's report dated May 31st, 2019 regarding the naming of a compliance coordinator, DWQMS representative, and the council considers a bylaw in open session. I guess we have to make that a motion, don't we? Okay, so I need a mover then. Mayor Bridge and Councilor McKenzie, all in favor? Thank you, that carries. And I'll turn the chair back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Other businesses? Other business? Well, there's nothing here. It's just what we want to bring on. Okay, I have Dave. Did you want?
Yeah, sure. I have a couple. Friday evening, there was some of us up in Clifford welcoming a new business, Barbecue Bites at the old Bambinos. The Wepler family, they seemed very nice people, and they've got excellent food. I don't believe that they have hamburgers and hot dogs. It's all about all the more nutritional stuff. But stop in. They've got streamers up, and they really they're eating folks, but they've got 3 wonderful children that are working in the business, and we wish them all the best. The other thing is, for those of you that aren't aware, our mayor has been successful in becoming, again this year, the only rural representative on the FCM board member, and he's also vice chair of the Ontario caucus. So congratulations to our mayor.
You got to be careful on more of the Ontario delegation, because there's a lot of rural people on there. They could be really upset.
Oh, sorry.
But
sorry
that's all right. That's all right. I just, yeah, there's a lot of rural there from other places, but there's not much rural representation on the Ontario caucus. They're a big city oriented. Yeah.
The other thing is we put the cool cones up last night in Hairston. There was a little bit of damage, but not so. Last year when they were put away, they were put in the barn down behind the arena. We wrapped them all up. They look really, really good. They look like they were just made this year. And so they're up, and we're ready to go. They look really good.
Didn't put forward, but Linda sent me a note, or sent a bunch of us a note about what's happening this week in Palmerston, and farmers market's opening.
Yes.
Trendy trains, it's going along with the cones. Same idea. We're unveiling them at 10 o'clock. The farmers market's opening at 9. And the Lions are having a splash bash. The mayor has donated money towards that again, and we thank him very much for that. Are you going to be out cooking again?
I'm going to try to get there. I got Clifford that, and then. Yeah.
And the town people are putting on sidewalk sales for that day, so there's something for everybody to get involved in when you get in the community. And then on the 15th, the library and the museum are teaming up to host a Harry Potter event. So hopefully that'll be something new and something successful. Plus, we have farmers market again that night or that day. And on June 22nd, unfortunately, the hand car races have been canceled this year. Just not enough interest, it seems. Maybe something in the future we can bring forward to have kind of a family event, or run it along with some other event to, instead of making it a competition, make more of a participation event or something like that. That's a possibility in the future, but it was already set to be a competitive event, I believe, this year, and we weren't getting enough competitors to be involved. farmers market still be up, and they're having a strawberry social that day, and the famous party in the park. I think Matt maybe mentioned that. I'm not sure you did or not, but party in the park will be that week, and we have 3 groups involved this year. We have 2 main groups that's going to be off the stage, and between sets we're going to have Maggie Moore, her husband Derek are going to be playing music in the pavilion between sets and stuff. So we're going to have constant music. We're opening at 7, and did I name the bands? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Month of Sundays, and Month of Sundays is out of. Everybody knows where Lulu's are out of, but Month of Sundays are out of Mount Forest mainly. Their lead guitarist is from Palmerston. So we try to keep that local, and we usually have a really good crowd. It goes rain or shine. First 200 people getting there gets a beer cooler for free, a little sleeve, and that it? We miss anything? Miss anything, Belinda?
Yes.
Yep. And the Clifford Street party is also. So everything leads through, correct? So we have, that's funny. That's quite a thing in Minto. We can have an event in one town, people seem to attend that and just move on through to the next one. So it works out very well for us. So, all right.
Okay. And anybody else? Mark, you have something?
One thing more with Palmerston is the Royal Terrace is 30 years. And they're having this on the 22nd, I think it is. They're having a strawberry social type thing in the afternoon. And anyway, they've been in business 30 years, and they're having a little celebration there. 20th. Is it that late?
27th, I think it is. I have it down. I hope it's the 27th.
27th, the following Saturday, is it?
Green, yeah.
Right here. There you go. It's a Thursday. I knew it was a Thursday. Thanks. Anyway, Doug's Auto Body is 50 years.
Well, Doug's is. Wow.
Good. Wow.
That's history.
Oh, yes. And we're working on our survey, Pick Your Priorities, and we've got a few, but we need more.
Quite a few,
but we need more. So we encourage people to do that. Do it yourselves if you can, but whatever.
Engageminto.ca.
Engageminto.ca. I just another heads up there for the council. The Right Haven Homes Net Zero Home grand opening is on the
It's on our wee list here.
11th.
On Friday.
I'd love to go see it.
Yeah, so if you can make it, that'd be great. I'm going to be pretty busy on Saturday, so hopefully a few people. Unfortunately, I've been dragged away. I'm the chair of the public health by accident. Well, no, but never mind. Just a long story how I got there. But at the end of the day, as you know, the public health units are being looked at to merge with Peel or whatever. It's not something we're really excited about. But they have their IFA convention in Kingston, where the chairs have asked to come down and do some hard talking about it. So I'm going to have to go to Kingston on Saturday night, Belinda, and unfortunately I was hoping to be at the Clifford stuff a little bit more, so I'll try to do some work around it. But if any of the council can get to these events, that's great. People love to see you out there and be at them, so if you could do that, I won't be able to be at some of them I would like to be at. So other than that, and I'm wearing my little bracelet today because tomorrow is camp day at Tim Hortons, and I'm in Palmerston from 9 to 10. And if you want your coffee really messed up, come over there. I do black really well, but when you ask for double cream, 2 sugars, and half and half or whatever they do,
it's double.
I mess up pretty bad. So, and is anybody else doing it?
Doing Harrison.
Yeah, I thought Jeff was doing Harrison.
Sent a notice to somebody, but who do we talk to about it?
Which one? Harrison or Palmerston?
Show up.
I
They'd be
care
glad
not.
to have you.
Yeah, if you just
show up.
Just show up.
Just show up.
If you got time,
I
Palmerston.
have time tomorrow morning.
All right, then pop over when I'm over there, and we can
Help you
work
figure
together.
out how to make coffee.
Put the 2 of us there together. Maybe Gene, we can figure it out. It's not as easy.
I can whip up some tea biscuits.
You know what, Gene? It's not as easy as you think. There's a machine behind those people with their smile on their face, and they've got to punch all these buttons right.
Pot.
No. No, it's all the stuff that goes in the coffee that you got to have a problem with. It's very complicated. You've worked it, Jeff.
You want to work the drive-through window.
Oh, that's even worse.
Coffee out. That's all you want to do.
And there's 2 drive-throughs in Palmerston, so you might give the wrong if they got 2 people
Well, no,
going.
they always have pylons over the one. They never have both open.
Oh well, not in camp day they will. Anyways, it's exciting. It's exciting, and an hour of that is enough.
So do we have to
So-
tell anybody that we're showing up? 'Cause
Yeah. Well, you can come. You can take half of my hour. I'll be happy with that. Anyways, good stuff. Other than that, I don't think we can't drag it out much more. Oh,
Jeff, congratulate Jeff and everybody from this past weekend, the breakfast in the garden show.
oh yes.
Jeff was the chair of the breakfast.
Yeah, Jeff, why aren't you telling us? Like, you're allowed to make more people.
I'm trying to get fired from that job.
Oh.
So,
Well, then
so we at the breakfast we fed over 650 people.
Wow, that's
So-
fantastic.
In 4 hours.
And I know I heard it was grief
Great.
report. Gene, do you know any more?
I haven't gotten any info.
Sue got a little bit of import that was amazing. They had the right climate, and
Yeah.
it went over really well.
I don't have
You don't have any other
I don't
stuff.
have a lot of information other than picking colors for the horticultural benches.
Yep,
We've
right.
decided to brighten up following Belinda's presentation. They're going to be lime green with purple flowers or purple accents on them.
Belinda, we have a little time. Did you want to just give a little update on our street event with our? Yes, could you do that for us? Can you come up to the mic and just give us a little? I was so excited about this. This is amazing, and sure, yeah, I loved it. You don't mind, Council? We're here till 5 anyways.
Yeah, that's great.
This was an amazing thing, and
What have I said?
anybody's on downtown rebikes, Jeff, you'll really love this, and stuff that they're coming up with.
What have I said?
So nobody said which truck.
It's on the 15th. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Belinda, while you're setting up, there's a couple other things that we maybe should talk about. The June 15th is Touch a Truck. I understand this is the last year for it, and it's raised a bundle of money, and it's at the arena, and it's all about kids. All the kids have a great time at it. And another item is the physicians charity softball event. The physicians from Wellington North, North Wellington, the North Wellington healthcare physicians for both Mount Forest and Palmerston are playing each other. It's at the Bar Bright Diamond in Palmerston, and they're going to have bouncy castles and all kinds of stuff for kids. So we really, really need to get out and support its donation. And we need to get out and support our physicians and let them know exactly how important that they are to us. And I forget exactly where that money's going, Belinda? Hospital Foundation. So
Yeah. So it's actually, if I can just, Deputy Mayor, it's actually the North Wellington Healthcare Physicians bursting the Groves Memorial physicians. Because not only do Palmerston and Mount Forest now get along, Fergus also gets along. So, so this is so all 3 foundations will be profiting from the revenue from these from this game. And this is the second year, and the first year was in Arthur, and it was quite successful. And so they wanted to build on that success, and they're moving it around. So this year it's in Palmerston.
It's June 27th.
it starts at noon. Yep.
And the first pitch is at 1. It starts at 12. There's space painting and all that.
And I think the first pitch is being thrown by Dr. Donald.
That's neat.
Okay, so you just want an overview of Yorktown Rising? Yeah. Okay, so just quickly, last year, or the end of 2017, the county had brought in Roger Brooks, and he did a county-wide assessment, and a few of our municipalities looked at bringing him back to come and do a more in-depth presentation or look at our individual communities. Unfortunately, that was a little bit out of our price range. And we were familiar with Leslie Fournier from Yorktown Rising because Gord and I have seen her present before. She runs the Streets Alive program up in Collingwood, which is our inspiration for our Cool
They're
Cones
Collingwood or
project.
Aurelia?
Aurelia,
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, Aurelia.
She has a store in Collingwood. So, so that was kind of our inspiration for Cool Cones, and her and Greg are doing Northern Rising stuff, which is similar to Roger Brooks. So we thought, let's bring them in and educate our businesses on creative placemaking and social media and how they can benefit their businesses. But also, really, we've been doing Downtown Revite for about 10 years, and we are like looking for fresh ideas and re-inspiring our businesses again. So this was the purpose of this visit. Monday night was an amazing presentation. We had about 35 people come to the Norgan and rave reviews about that. And then Tuesday we were like getting to work. So we had a walkabout in the morning with about 7 of our downtown businesses, and Taylor, myself, and Aaron, our municipal youth intern. And we walked the streets and looked at strengths and weaknesses under different categories. And then afterwards we were joined by like 20, I would say, people altogether. There's 20. For lunch and to go over what the opportunities are for Hairston. So I'm not going to go through all of this. I'm happy to share it, but I think the cool thing is that we have really identified the themes in each community, and our businesses are pumped up, super excited. Especially the Hairston group actually met Friday morning at 8 o'clock to get the momentum going on this, and they have sent summer out today with invites to all the businesses downtown,
Great.
service clubs, sports societies. Everyone is going to be invited to be a part of Hairston Rising. And this is kind of what it's going to look like. The theme is going to be cool cones and color zones. They really got a sense when they were here that Hairston is all about family fun, and this is a place that likes to have fun. So everyone's really excited about this. We're looking at doing some color walls. This keeps jumping around on me, sorry. So color walls are a big thing with Instagram, so we're looking at doing some here. We already have property owners on board. People are planning a painting party, so we're really excited to get going on that. Going on the ice cream theme, just some of the activities that we could do, like beanbag toss, ice cream socials, photo booths. Tannery Park was definitely in Hairston seen as an opportunity that's not being activated enough, so having photo booths in there and different activities. John Mock has already been in touch with Andy Pridham about doing some of these ice cream bike racks. We don't have any bike racks in our downtowns, and a lot of our people are riding their bikes. So this is like an example of what that might look like, but they would be much more colorful. These are just some examples of benches. This is a swing, ice cream sandwich swing. These are just some inspiration. If you were at the presentation in Tannery Park, she talked about pennants. So we found these ice cream pennants to go across Tannery Park. In Toronto, they have those big Toronto letters. We can do something like this in Hairston letters with the ice cream sort of thing. More ideas of just using the color stuff, the pop-up museums around the ice cream stuff, but really the whole theme of downtown Hairston is going to be cool cones and color zones. And yeah, people are pumped. So we have a meeting June 10th at the Postscript. Hopefully that will draw people out. It's in the basement of the old Post, so people can see that space. And yeah, they have ideas ready to roll, and one of them is lighting the trees all year round. And yeah, that's really exciting. And then in Palmerston, I think it's really no surprise what our theme in Palmerston is trains and railways. But we really take for granted that we have those assets in Palmerston. Like the bridge, they said, is amazing. Other communities are getting like all this attention about their bridges, which are nothing compared to ours. Yep. So utilizing that space. So they have ideas of like brews and bites on the bridge, all kinds of fun things. The very first thing they identified, though, is that energy and vibrancy is missing downtown. A lot of our stores in Palmerston specifically are not open on Saturdays, and that's when people want to shop. So with some of them not being open, that deters people from supporting the ones that are. So that's something we're going to be working on. They're really excited about the trendy trains and suggested we added something around treats and tunes. And the new Coffee Cafe is keen to do train cookies and train cakes and adding music and stuff on the street.
Andy's got a where you put your face in train that we might be doing.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So
yep,
take
we're doing
pictures.
Yep, for pictures for that. Councillor Elliott alluded to moving away from handcar races, but really blowing up a big family-friendly railway festival. As you know, we do family-friendly events. We have a lot of success. Fire and Ice, our street party events, our Light Up the Town events are always well attended. So we're going to take the train theme and blow it up, but be family-friendly and do a whole bunch of events. Obviously, hand car rides and train rides will be part of that. We're just finding like the competitive side of things is not as attractive as it once was. I'm going to scroll down quickly, show you the inspiration there. So like these pictures with the faces in. Andy is going to be putting together one of those for us. This Tiny Trains Parade is going to be part of our event next year. Like I said about the dinner, the bites and brews on the bridge. So that one time when we were doing the 100th anniversary of the bridge, they're going to do dinner on the bridge, but logistically that's a lot of work. So this will have like something more like charcuterie boards and wine and beer and things like that. But like, how cool is that going to be? Like, everywhere can't do things like that. The train booth printables, these are examples of bike racks, the little trains. So happy to say that at the museum, we are having some struggles with our little lawnmower train. We just got a new one, and we will be able to do train rides. We have tours downtown of the trendy trains. Our businesses are on board for sidewalk sale Saturdays and activating spaces uptown. So that's kind of where that one's going. And this group is meeting June 11th with the rest of the business community and other groups to get everyone on board. And we have got a lot of social media attention. I think Your Town Rising is very impressed with the energy in our communities and are looking forward to seeing what's coming out of it. And really, it's kind of cool to see the excitement in the businesses, and a lot of these ideas are their ideas, and they're pumped to like lead the charge on them. So it was a very good project.
Thanks.
I don't know for those that attended what your feedback was.
It was the enthusiasm, I can't say enough about, and the excitement in the air, driven by people that are actually going to make it work, rather than staff trying to ask them to cooperate and help with things.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally groundswell up, and it was amazing. I was really lifted up. That was Monday and Tuesday, and great job.
And thanks, Todd, for coming out representing the Kinsmen.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to have service club reps there too.
Quickly, maybe you should explain, since we're on TV and people will be looking, why isn't Clifford involved?
Oh, yeah. So when we approached the downtown committees, we said we needed to have 5 people from each committee be prepared to participate in a 1-hour walkabout and a 1-hour facilitated discussion afterwards. In Hairston, we had 8 people jump on board. In Palmerston, we had 5. In Clifford, we had 1. And I reiterated, we can't do this if we don't have 5 people. If there's not interest, we're not going to do this. So unfortunately, only 1 person continued to say they would do it. And so that is why we didn't have a walkabout and a particular program in Clifford. It's not to say that we can't in the future, but we're prepared to work with the people who are prepared to work. So
there was one Clifford business person resident. Oh, 2? Oh, sorry. I should have said at least 1. Sorry. So, I mean, there was lots to pick up on Monday night.
Yes. And they were invited to attend Monday night.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So, no, it was, I was at all 3 events, I guess, on Monday and Tuesday. And, yeah, it was really very interesting, and it was so cool to see everybody so excited about some new ideas and coming up with ideas on their own. They were just launch pads to think of another idea. So yeah, it was really good.
It was cool on the walkabout because they would keep getting distracted. So they were supposed to be focusing on strengths and weaknesses, but they were so excited of the opportunities that they kept going there, and she'd have to keep like pulling them back in. Yeah. So yeah, it was cool.
And on Clifford, I think they're getting launched with this, and they don't have as many downtown people. So the couple people that came from Clifford, they're enthusiastic about it. I think we have this on this weekend and get that feeling of going. Clifford has a great opportunity to fill up some of the stores, some of the things that are there, and we just have to get that enthusiasm that we've got in the other 2 towns, and I'm sure they'll come with it.
And around this event, they've absolutely been
done
very
really well.
engaged and participatory, and it's going to be a great day on Saturday, and hopefully everyone comes out and supports the businesses of Clifford, because they definitely had a rough go last summer, and then again, the construction this summer, it's definitely impacting. So
thank you for that update. No. Okay, motion to regular.
We're just going to go to recess.
Oh, we're recessing because we have to come back at 5. So we'll do a recess and go out and play in the truck. And don't move, don't touch any of the buttons unless somebody allows you to. Jeff, you're in charge of this. Jeff is the only one qualified to drive on this council. That truck, by the way.
Well,